Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 7500 to Holdcast. I'm Jack Grimsey alongside Robert Lintada, as always. How's it going, Robert?
It's going wonderfully. Glad to see you again, Jack.
Yeah, I guess I'm glad to be back. I actually watched the match last week. I guess unfortunately, the two previous ones I hadn't watched them live, and Villa actually ended up winning.
So we know the problem now.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe good news. I'm not going to be able to watch the match Saturday.
Hey!
So, and that'll be Manchester United. I mean, Villa really will need all the help they can get. I guess we'll get to that later. But we were laughing about how grim that series actually is.
Oh boy, do we have some good numbers for you.
Yeah, and also gonna talk a little bit about some rumors on the club transfer window. Rumors kind of starting to heat up. Just really 2 weeks till January, and yeah. But I mean, I guess we'll start with that West Brom match, and so Kieran Richardson. I think the best takeaway is that we don't have to see him for a couple games now. Fortunately.
Yeah, he was a flippin' idiot. That's for certain.
At best.
It's rare that I've seen Villa fans so united in something as everyone was in hating Kieran Richardson.
And we've seen, I don't know if I want to say that Hutton has put in worse tackles, but we've seen similar tackles put in by other Villa players.
Yeah,
and everyone's came out and said that Richardson's was dumb. Like, no one even tried to defend him at all. I agree with what you're saying there.
Yeah, it's been kind of incredible. And the funny thing to me was usually on Twitter when something like that happens, you get enough people going, "Oh, it wasn't a red. That's never a red."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Two or three people, and most all the other Villa fans I was following were like, "Yep, he's an idiot. That's a red."
And if you're gonna get a player sent off, honestly, you kind of hope it's like that, where you don't have to say, "Oh, did the referee kind of decide the outcome?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Villa have no one to blame except Kieran Richardson. The ref made.
Well, Paul Lambert, he shouldn't have played Richardson.
Yeah, no flipping kidding. Because the option was you could have started Grealish.
Yeah, I don't know.
Say that again.
What did you have to lose by starting Grealish?
Yeah, I guess you could make the little argument that it's a derby match, it's going to be rough. Do you really want Grealish getting roughed up? But Jesus, the way Villa has played this year, if you put a player on the pitch, they're going to get injured. Stop being so pansy about it. And just start using them.
With the way Villa's injuries have been, you can't be using that as an excuse, I guess.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder if Grealish is to Paul Lambert like a brand new iPhone or something. Like, he just doesn't want to scratch it, and so he's not going to use it.
Yeah, if he doesn't take it out of the box, then inevitably it can't get broken.
Yeah, exactly, and it also inevitably is entirely useless.
Yeah, but fortunately, we did get Delph back.
And that was nice, and he came on. He didn't look great, but he also didn't look terrible.
I think Sanchez had another decent game, honestly.
I'm actually starting to finally come around on Sanchez.
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone is hailing him as the second coming, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been good. He's been improving. I guess he's been bad at some points, obviously. But with Westwood out, I think Villa are really going to need him. And Delph, yeah, it was just his first game back. I don't think he was expecting to get in.
Yeah, exactly. And had it not been for Kieran Richardson being an idiot and Charles Nzogbia being a useless toad, Delph probably wouldn't have gotten in.
He's the most useless. He's so useless.
It boggles my mind that he has a premier. Like, we had a bomb squad, people who Paul Lambert refused to play because they were bad and or they were owed a lot of money. Charles Nzogbia is legitimately terrible and is legitimately owed a fair amount of money. Why the fuck is he not being left off this squad?
Well, he legitimately used to be good.
Well, yeah, but so did Bent. So did, all of those people that were on the bomb squad.
Look at Hutton.
And
what if Nzogbia had become good again? I think the experiment's over.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. At the beginning of the season, I was all for it because we all had memories of good Nzogbia.
Yeah, even not so long ago before the injury he just had. But yeah, I think so. I think the experiment's got to be over.
Aside from that one assist that he had this season, can you think of a single good moment from Nzogbia?
Yeah, when he made a free kick against West Ham.
When he made a free kick against West Ham. Oh, yeah. I suppose I thought you were about to say when he made that kick against FC Dallas.
Oh, I did not see that.
No, yeah. I mean, he's been absolute crap, and he gets run out, more than anyone. Jeez, I mean, at this point, just play someone out of position. They're going to be better than he is.
Or play Bakuna forward.
Yeah. Put Bakuna there, put Lowton there, put Chris Hurd there. I am convinced that Chris Hurd would be better than Charles Nzogbia.
He wouldn't be worse.
Exactly. I mean, it's hard.
Nzogbia had like half a moment last week when he held up the ball and then they tackled him on the wing out of play. Like, he held up play to earn a throw. That was what he did last week.
Yeah, he's legitimately the worst player on a pretty bad Villa team.
I don't know. I think he holds back the side just like Egbanlahor seems to at some points. Like, I mean, obviously his pace on the counter is incredible. Egbanlahor's and Nzogbia is not really a slow guy, but just when
he's fast and stupid.
Yeah, just runs it and kicks it over the goal like Egbanlahor, I guess. But
yeah. He gets to the ball really quickly, so it means we give it away more quickly.
But I don't know. But if he's a defensive liability,
yeah, he is absolutely. He's an everything liability. He's not an offensive asset at this point.
No,
I mean, yes, he has had a couple of passes this season, but there is an overwhelming number of bad mistakes that have outweighed them. He is not an asset on any.
I wish we would have seen more Joe Cole instead of Nzogbia up to this point.
Yeah, but then again, the question is, can Joe Cole actually play that many matches?
No, but if you have to play someone for a half,
yeah,
I think Joe Cole should be able to play 60 minutes, 1 out of every 2 matches.
Yeah, I would hope so. And when he's
if you need him, I mean, sometimes you're not going to want him in the side.
When he's not dead, Joe Cole has shown to us that he can be useful in his limited time this season.
Yeah, exactly, but I think he's worth having around on the bench in case you need a guy for 30 minutes or maybe even 20 or 15. As some guy at the end of the game who, I mean, Cole could put the cross in if you need it.
You've got a lead. You're, 60 minutes played, and Gabby Egbanlahor is starting to turn into the post 60 minutes Gabby Egbanlahor. And you want to make a substitution, put in Joe Cole. He can hold up play a little bit, but he also doesn't totally neuter your attack.
Well, yeah, if you don't want to change your shape horribly and throw a defender on, I guess,
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing that I've been noticing with Gabby lately. His first half, not always helpful. He's an idiot when it comes to his his ability to turn and shoot. But in the past 5 or 6 matches, when he hits the second half, he looks like a totally different player, and for the worse. This is Gabby.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
and I don't know, like what we were talking about with him coming back and not defending against Southampton.
Yeah, exactly. And he looks bad in the first half lately, but he looks Nzogbia level bad in the second half.
He's had a couple good moments though.
A couple, yeah, but again,
I mean, I don't think you should start this week. I would start Vyman and Benteke up top.
Yeah, and given how bad Vyman's looked, that says a lot.
But again, Vyman's not a winger. He keeps getting stuck on the wing. At the end of last season, when Benteke was out and he was playing centrally, he scored like 3 in 3 matches.
And that's fair, but I'm not even sure if he could do that. We've seen him botch, 4 or 5 sitters this year? That he should.
Oh, he's done a couple Darren Bents.
And the thing is, if you make that argument that he's a central striker, which I totally agree with, the one skill you have to have as a central striker is finishing ability.
Yeah, but maybe when he's coming in from the wing, he only has 1 chance a game. At least if he's in the middle and has 2 of those, he probably buries 1.
That's fair. I mean, are you confident that he'll bury 1 out of 2?
Yeah, probably, if he can actually get 2 chances. The thing with Villa is it just seems like they're just not creating any chances.
Yeah, that's.
And then you have your 1 chance, and then it's gone.
Yeah, and you have to have a high conversion rate when you're not creating. That's a good point.
Like even with Grealish a couple weeks ago, it looked like he was going to score.
Oh God, I so want him to score. Him getting the game winner against United.
Or against West Brom, that would have been acceptable.
All the Villa fans, we can just die at that moment. We'll all die happy. Grealish getting the winner against United, sure. But, Grealish not even making the starting lineup last week. Callum Robinson not even making the bench.
That was what was annoying. Okay, I'm fine with playing Benteke and Robinson.
Yeah, exactly. I'd like to see him get some time. I remember when we recalled Callum Robinson, and I was angry as all get out, and people said, no, Paul Lambert has a plan. We have definitively proven at this point that Paul Lambert has no freaking idea what he's doing with Callum Robinson.
It's looked like a kind of a lot of Lambert's plans, I would say, maybe.
Yeah, there's no plan there. I mean, when you had as many injuries as you did last week, when you've been playing a three-striker setup, why is Robinson not even on the bench? You really have to get Chris Hurd on that bench?
But Kuna wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
And again, I don't know. I think we're going to see Villar this week. I think Clark's going to be pushed out for Villar.
I don't know. Lambert has been talking that he's really liking the Okora Clark pairing.
All right, well, good. I don't think we need to see Villar by.
I would be okay with Villar on the caveat that he gets back the captain's armband, and that's how we get to sit Gabby.
Oh, for sure then. Then.
I'm sorry, Kieran. I really like you lately, but if you going means Gabby goes, get the hell off our pitch.
I mean, I think we could go 3 at the back because they play 2 strikers. They're going to have Van Persie and they're going to have Falcao, I think.
And maybe 3 at the back and that 5 at the back.
Having Rooney there, I don't know. Put 6 at the back because they have Di Maria and they also have Mata and I don't know. I didn't want to get to Man United yet, but.
That's true. We'll get to them in a second. One other thing I wanted to say about West Brom was that mind-bogglingly idiotic substitution at the end of the match, in which he brought off Sissoko and Sanchez for Villar and who was it? Was it Andy?
Yeah, well it was Vyman was brought on. Vyman, Delph, and Villar all came on, and you had Richardson. Richardson was gone, right?
Yep, Richardson was gone.
And Sanchez, I think he pulled Sanchez off and he put Villar on. And Villar went up top?
It was weird. It was one of those things where
it was like 4-2-4.
Yeah.
Because you had Delph and Cleverley sitting, or maybe.
No, except he had Villar playing defensively. Villar didn't run up top.
Or who went up then? Clark?
No one. I don't think he was playing a 4-2-4. I think he was playing I don't know what the fuck to do.
Well, yeah, because I was thinking, I don't know, if he was going to take off Sissoko, he might as well have taken off Hutton because Hutton was on the yellow.
It looked like one of those things where if you bring on Villar, it looked like he was maybe going to a 3 at the back and then going to push the wingers up. But the problem was the wing backs up. He took off Ali Sissoko, which totally kiboshed that plan.
Yeah. I mean, what was he going to do? Stick Hutton in midfield with Delph and Cleverley?
Yeah, it was just one of those things where you can see Villar coming on makes some sense, but the second that Villar replaces Sissoko or Sanchez or whichever one we want to say he replaced.
I mean, that's fine if you do. If Villar replaces Sanchez and then 5 minutes later you put on Vyman for Clark or someone, if your center back's on the yellow or out of gas.
Yeah.
Or different,
It was a mind-boggling sub, and I got furious in the moment, and I thought it was stupid, and then a few people calmed me down, and they're like, oh, it's a good idea, and then we all realized that, no, Lambert had no freaking clue what he was doing there.
I thought the team actually played pretty well.
After the sub?
In general, for being down a man for 70 minutes...
Yeah, no, I agree.
They had some attacks at the end to steal a point. I mean, they definitely didn't deserve it. But.
Yeah. No, I agree. I thought they played pretty well, and I'm not really that mad at the actual result. I'm just mad at it's a matter of process versus results.
So it's a matter of losing to West Brom. That's just
Well, yeah.
embarrassing.
But I guess the thing is that I keep getting infuriated about with this club is they get lucky. They get decent results from time to time with bad process. And that's not a sustainable way.
Team selection or a bad system.
Yeah, exactly. And so it convinces the people in charge that, what we're doing is right. And it's not. It's bad. You have a huge history this season proving that a lot of what you're doing is bad, and yet they keep doing it because they get a result every now and again.
Yeah, for a stupid reason, one freak thing or another, kind of. And then you're like, we must be doing something right.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
So it's been really infuriating because you just see these. It brings me back to that Callum Robinson thing. It's just even if something ends up working here, at this point we've gotten enough to prove that it was a bad choice. It was bad process. You could have done this a better way.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I kind of want to move on. I think maybe one of the problems is, obviously we've seen it lately at Villa, a lack of funds, but I mean, still, Randy Lerner's still trying to sell the club, and fans are still obviously interested in trying to find a buyer, and honestly may have started the Mark Cuban to Villa rumor, which...
Yeah.
What did he himself have to say about that?
He was, I don't even know who that team is, or something along those lines. So, yeah, Mark Cuban is not going to be buying Villa anytime soon.
I mean, he was a legit, I think, candidate just because he certainly has the cash.
And he's obviously interested in sports investing.
And he's definitely crazy, so maybe he'd be like, oh, that's a good idea, I'll buy Villa. But I think he's smarter than that.
Even though it's not happening, would you like Mark Cuban as the owner?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's so much fun.
He's awesome, yeah.
He's the guy that, if you don't know anything about the NBA, he's on Twitter, he's the owner courtside at almost every game.
After the Mavericks won the finals, he was on the plane sitting with the trophy in one arm smoking a cigar, like on the plane.
Yeah, exactly. Always courtside, never in the owner's box.
He's hilarious on Shark Tank.
Constantly complaining about, the commissioner, the referees, everyone.
Yeah. He'll be complaining about the referee.
Oh God, he's such a flippin' joy.
Lambert won't have to take a press conference, and we'll actually understand the guy in the presser.
I know there are a lot of American sports fans who hate Mark Cuban, and I don't get those people at all.
I guess I don't really get it either. Maybe if you're just like a Rockets fan.
Yeah, I guess, but the point of this all is entertainment, and there are few owners as entertaining as Mark Cuban.
Yeah, he's entertaining. He's generally a pretty good guy, I think.
Yeah, he seems to be. He's smart. I mean, he goes about it in a brash way.
He's a great businessman.
Yeah, he goes about it in a brash way that pisses people off, but he has built a phenomenal franchise in Dallas.
I mean, he's not like Trump.
Yeah, in the bad ways.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's not like as bad as like I would almost say I guess Trump would be, but I don't know. It's too bad. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Really, it's a shame that there's nothing to that rumor.
Yeah, as far as we can tell, but I mean, hopefully, I think something's got to happen maybe next summer. I don't think it's going to happen in the middle of the year.
I don't think so either, but I could see it happening, in May or so.
Especially if Villa secured Premier League football for the next season, it could happen in March, honestly. But
yeah, it's maybe we could get the Qataris to invest in Villa instead of Tottenham.
Yeah, instead of putting a billion pounds at Spurs. I'm not sure why you do that, I guess, but.
In case you have no idea what we're talking about, rumor emerged today that the Qatari government wants to buy Spurs for $1 billion.
£1 billion. £1
billion, yeah, excuse me. Which is even more money.
The better part of $2 billion, but...
God, that would be amazing.
I mean, then maybe the other rumor is that Spurs want Fabian Delph, of course, and we've thought this has been plausible for quite a while because why would you stay at Villa when you could go to a team twice as good and make twice as much money?
When you could go to a team twice as good that still loses just about as often.
Just about, but at least you get to lose in the EuroLeague.
Yeah, that's true, and you get to lose at White Hart Lane in front of those wonderful supportive fans.
Yeah, I don't know. Spurs pulled it out last week.
Yeah, exactly. No, I could see Delph going to Spurs. Do you buy the actual the package, just Delph for Dembele?
Delph for Dembele? I don't know. I really like Dembele.
Yeah,
I
you would
think
take that trade?
him and Benteke, I think they'd be really good. I mean, he's Belgian, obviously. He's pretty big and I don't know, pretty skillful as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you think
He doesn't play. I don't know why he can't get into the team at Tottenham for whatever reason.
Pochettino is insane?
Yeah, I think so realistically, but
I mean, listen to Spurs fans complain about how little he plays Harry Kane.
yeah. That's just like Kane's just I feel like a year farther along than Grealish.
Yeah. So you would take Delph for Dembele, especially given the fact that I think Dembele probably has another year or two left on his contract.
Well, yeah, I mean obviously you'd have to sign a new contract at Villa, but I don't know. I think we're losing Delph, so I'd like something for it.
I agree. I think we're losing Delph too. I just, like I wrote in the rumor piece when I wrote it on Tuesday, I just think Villa can get a better haul than Dembele.
Just because I think you want some cash as well.
Exactly.
What about like $4 million in Dembele? I think.
Yeah, sure.
Just because Dembele, the reason, I mean, if Dembele is in decent form, then I guess Spurs wouldn't be throwing him at us. It just seems like Spurs think they can just give Villa their leftovers.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
It's just annoying from that sense, which is why I just want a bit of cash too, because Delph obviously has been in great form the past year.
Yeah, he has been, and the thing is, he only has 5 months left on his contract, 6 months left on his contract, whatever it is. But he's an English-born midfielder who's been on top form in the January window when prices get inflated.
He's got to be worth 15.
I don't know if I'd go 15, because he only has half a year left. But
but if it's okay, so
but if you buy him, you negotiate.
So now I think he's worth 10 because he doesn't have that much time left.
Yeah, I would say in the summer if it's the exact same situation in the summer, which I know would be weird, but whatever. I'd say he's probably a $6 or $7 million player or pound player. But January sees all the prices get jacked up.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's why I think he could do it, because I think Dembele is probably worth 8 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Say what Dembele and $4 million. I don't think that's.
I take that in a heartbeat.
You have to, because I don't know. You got to make Spurs pay. You got to if the big teams are coming in for your players, you know you're going to lose them. You have to make them pay. And usually Villa do really well about it.
Yeah, exactly. This is one area where I have faith. The only thing that worries me is there's so many parallels to the Milner for Ireland swap.
I think so. Except that Dembele hasn't really been Spurs Player of the Year like Ireland was. I think Ireland honestly maybe had more promise, but
yeah,
I'd be much happier with Dembele.
Yeah, that's I agree. I think if we could get Dembele and some cash, I'm all for it. The other thing worth noting is this rumor probably has nothing to it. Everything that's reported is entirely unsourced. There's nothing there.
I'd much rather get Delph signed up on a new contract, though.
Agreed. The idea of him, Westwood, and if we could swing it Cleverley as our midfield core for years to come makes me really happy.
Exactly. Yeah,
I think the three of them are a really solid midfield.
Definitely. We got a question from Chaz Suplex Rad, and asking possible January transfer targets. I didn't really want to dive into specific targets, I guess, so much. And then he did tweet again saying, I've been hearing names like Danny Ings being thrown around. I think like what you're saying, like I think the midfield's an area that could use strengthening.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could use a better forward, but we can't get rid of Egbonlo or Vyman and Bent all at once and get a new forward. So I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think the problem is this year with all the injuries we've been having, it's hard to judge. Do we need more depth in certain areas, or is it we've just had freak injuries that you really shouldn't plan for?
Yeah, but if you're going to plan on losing Delph one way or another, I don't think another midfielder's the worst thing.
That's the thing.
We definitely don't need any defenders.
Well, if Delph goes, you've got to get a midfielder. I think if Vlar goes, you've got to get another defender because
That's fair.
Villa, in some strange way, have shown that they will inevitably have at least 2 center backs injured at all time.
Yeah, and when that's happening, you can't have less than 5 center backs.
Yeah, exactly. So
who are able to actually play.
I think a lot of it will be dictated on, whether Delph and Vlar go. Because if they go, you've got to replace them.
Yeah, if Delph and Vlar goes, I think we probably see actually 3 guys brought in, maybe.
Yeah, I would agree. Do you think Villa end up buying Cleverley?
I'm only if Vlar goes to United, just because I think it will be easier to just, I don't know, to maybe take some cash out of the equation.
Yeah,
I think that could just be easier for the 2 clubs to sort it.
More and more coming in favor of a Vlar for Cleverley plus cash swap.
Yeah, again, another like a $4 million or something there.
Although, really, given the state of his contract and everything, it might be fair just to do Vlar for Cleverley.
Yeah, maybe, but I think United would just have to give Villa some money that would go to paying Cleverley's wages.
Yeah,
so it'd be
exactly.
Villa paying $40K, and then United had to just give us some cash up front, which would go to paying Cleverley's other 40 or whatever he's on.
I mean, Cleverley seems pretty happy here. I could see him wanting to stay.
I don't know. It seems like it could be another Bertrand thing. Maybe get some more bad results against bad teams like Palace or something, and you realize like that's Villa.
Yeah, maybe I don't want to be a part of that.
But again, no. I hope Cleverley's happy, and that's what it seems like so far.
Yeah, lately I've seen a few people getting down on Cleverley. I enjoyed the other day on the site. If you haven't had a chance to read it, Adam wrote something in which he said, I don't think Cleverley's worth keeping around, and I said, why not? I've really liked him, and he dove into the stats, and it turns out that Cleverley has been right up there with Westwood as one of our best midfielders this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think Cleverley and Westwood play really well together as well.
Exactly. The thing about Cleverley is he's not flashy, and that's why I think a few people are down on him. He's not making the key pass or anything. He's holding possession, and he's not making bad passes, which is why
he's not making the key pass for the other team.
Exactly. He's not Inzaghi-ing it.
Yeah, or Sanchez on that one.
Oh, God,
legitimately pass it to the other team 35 yards in front of our own goal.
I think there's a lot of value, and people don't love it, but there's a lot of value in a player who will not make mistakes.
Oh, I 100% agree. And then if you have a playmaker like Delph back in the side.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So long as you're not counting on Cleverley to be your playmaker, he's great. If you need him as your playmaker, then no, don't sign him. You need someone else.
Oh, I don't know. If he can share the duties though with Westwood, and then if you have another creator in there, like I don't know, like if Cole can get into the side, Cleverley's going to play some key passes for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, no, you don't. And you don't need him as that guy, which is why it's important, which is what you're saying, I think.
Yeah, I love him for being exactly what he is, which is he's very
really
stable.
Consistent.
Yeah, exactly. He's never going to, well, he might, but he's never really going to wow you. He takes decent set pieces.
Oh my gosh, the set pieces were a nightmare without Westwood.
Oh yeah, they're terrible. He takes decent set pieces. I mean, he's not great, but I remember when Westwood went out, the first corner went to Inzaghi. And it was just, what even was the point of that? Was it this weekend? Yeah, against West Brom, Inzaghi had a corner from the left side, and literally passed it to a West Brom person well over the box. Like,
like Rooney's going 30 yards up in the air and not even coming into play.
Yeah, oh my God. So Cleverley isn't great at set pieces, but if Westwood's out, I think he's the best option. I think my ranking right now would be Westwood, Grealish, Cleverley for set pieces.
Yeah, I'm not really sure after Cleverley.
Yeah, who you want taking it? Maybe Delph?
Not Delph, no.
No.
Honestly, if you had to play Bacuna.
Yes, if he were in, I would say Bacuna in a heartbeat. Maybe Lowton.
Yeah, I think Lowton maybe on the long, like a long free kick. You're trying to put a ball into the box. I think Lowton's a good option.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
I think we're pretty short on options though, really.
We are horrible at set pieces.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
With,
really
without
specific. It's
Westwood.
really specific to look for. But if you're bringing in an attacking midfielder who could bring that part of his game, I think that's always something that could be used at Villa.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like sort of a nitpicky thing, but if you think about it, we are giving away possession in prime positions multiple times a game because we can't take set pieces.
And you need to play that short then if you're gonna.
Yeah, if you can't make the long
Play it short
pass,
and just start over. Start playing from open play again.
yeah,
Can't use a set piece.
I mean, and it's one thing to give away possession midfield. It's another thing to give away possession when you should be in the box. Like, there's where you need to be making your opportunities. We complain that if Vyman had 3 or 4 chances a game, he could make one of them. You can't get those 3 or 4 chances if you're just kicking your set pieces to the other team.
No.
That's something that needs addressing.
Hopefully someone will be able to step up. Last year against Man United, Ashley Westwood had that great free kick.
Oh yeah, that beautiful at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Oh, that was.
Put us up 1-0. I was like, oh my god, like.
And then, as Villa tend to do against Manchester United, we went on to lose.
As is tradition, so we've gotten to that part in the episode. So, all right, Robert, hit us with the stats.
All right, so we were talking about this before the match because we weren't certain, how well Villa have done, and Jack and I both agreed
it was pretty poor.
That over the course of history, Jack and I agreed Villa should be probably pretty average against Manchester United. Both clubs have been around forever. You would think that statistically things would even out. The answer is no. The all-time series is 49 wins for Villa, 38 draws, and 95 losses.
You'd think that at least they could have won and drawn a combined number that they lost,
Yeah, and alas,
at least a point in at least 50%. Because you think historically, obviously Manchester United dominant in the past 2 decades, but before that, Villa pretty good, and Villa even actually in the past 2 decades not horrible. You think they'd get at least a point and a couple wins here and there.
You would think that, but we dived into this. This is so depressing and yet so funny at the same time. We dived into this using. If you don't know about it, there's a great website called 11v11, using the numbers 11v11, that will give you the all-time head-to-head of any club against any other. In the last 10 years, Villa have managed 1 win against Manchester United, which is pretty pitiful. But then we go back to the 90s, because Villa were a little better in the 90s and the early 2000s. In the last 20 years, Villa have gotten 3 wins. 3 wins in 20 years, guaranteed at least 2 matches a year.
Yeah, at least 2. And a couple years ago, Villa had the chance in the Cup against United. Obviously, didn't work out. But 2009 being the last win.
Yeah, 2009 being the last win. The last one before that, 1999. So unfortunately, apparently, we're going to have to wait until 2019.
Oh, let's hope not.
So 2009 was a win in the Premier League. 1999 was a win in the Worthington Cup, our favorite cup.
Worthington Cup.
So yeah, 3 wins in the last 20 years against United, and if you go back 30 years, 1984, 30 years, Villa have only managed 7 wins against United.
That is not good.
So the chances of a win happening on Saturday are pretty negligible, it seems.
So yeah, I think I'll go with 1-3. I think United
1-3. I'm gonna go with 2-3. Villa race out to the 2-0 lead and then give up 3 goals.
But they don't have Chicharito.
That's fair.
I think that.
Also, I almost literally cannot imagine Villa scoring twice in a match.
Yeah, they would waste 2 goals in a loss, though.
Yeah. Well, actually, if we think the way that Villa would play, they're going to get 4 goals and still lose. Like the one time.
Would you even be mad, though? At least it'd be entertaining.
It would be. It'd be a thrilling match. I think I would be just freaking heartbroken, though.
Probably. It depends on the fashion. If, say, United race off to a 7-0 lead, 4 goals is still just going to be consolation.
I could just see that happening. Benteke just rage scoring. Just angry goals, breaking the back of the net.
I mean, that'd be okay too. That'd be funny at least.
God, it's I don't know what to say, because the interesting thing is, despite the fact that Villa have been trounced in recent years, most of the matches that I remember, Villa against United in the past 4 or 5 years, haven't been demolitions.
I mean, the one was last year, or what, 2 years ago, when Van Persie scored that goal of the year that was actually offside. When they had 3 goals that were offside when they won 3-0. But I mean, they were dominant besides that. But I don't know. There's been a lot of matches, like you're saying, that have just been really honestly pretty close.
Yeah, exactly.
And it just seems like I don't know, it just goes wrong for Villa, and it just always happens.
Yeah.
Just one moment.
It's going to be tough too, because Villa have no Ashley Westwood, no Tom Cleverley. No Kieran Richardson is probably a blessing in disguise. No Senderos, I don't believe he's back. Not that we really need him at this point.
No, but I mean, if you lose somebody,
someone else picked up their.
But
no Hutton, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, it is going to be no Hutton. So you might as well put in Bakuna because you need a set piece.
So we were talking earlier, this would be a good idea for a 3 at the back. I think this would be a really good 3 at the back if you use Bakuna and Sissoko on the wings and let them get up a lot. So play
back
ostensibly
a lot, because if they're going to have to do a lot of that's fine. I think that's a good idea.
Play ostensibly a 5 at the back, but give your 2 wings a lot more freedom to go up.
Yeah, I think that's what you do.
Especially
United haven't lost in 6.
Yeah, and especially given the fact that the midfield is going to be so threadbare. I mean, you're going to have Fabian Delph and ... Inzogbia?
Nah, I think you can throw 4 in the midfield then, because you throw, or maybe 3.
What, 5-4-1?
Yeah, 5 or 5. It's either 5-4-1 or 5-3-2. It's going to be Sanchez, Cleverley, Delph.
Nope. No Cleverley.
No Cleverley. Sanchez, Delph.
Inzogbia, probably.
I don't want to do that. I don't know. I think I'll have a tactics post for Thursday, I guess, for tomorrow.
Is this the time where we finally see Jack Grealish get to start?
Why not? I don't know.
Because he gets sort of the Akora treatment, in which, well, I literally have no more options that aren't Charles Inzogbia.
Yeah, well, I mean, why not? Play him up top with right behind Benteke.
Yeah.
Let him run to either wing.
I could see a 5 at the back with Sissoko and Bakuna, or Loughton. I'd be happy with Loughton on your wing.
Yeah, you could go 5 diamond 1.
Yeah, you could do that.
But I don't know. So I'm still trying to think of what other midfielders Villa actually have. If you stick Loughton at fullback, you could play Bakuna in the midfield.
Yeah, you could. And I think that would actually be kind of useful. I don't love going 5 at the back, because I know Paul Lambert likes to play that really negatively.
It's going to be negative. I think it's the only chance you have. I think you need to put 3 center backs out there against their 2 strikers.
Yeah, this is one case where I wouldn't mind it.
Because if you have Vlar and Clark, and if they have 2 strikers, then you have 2 people man marking and 1 spare man at the back, which you're going to need against somebody who can score headers like Falcao or Van Persie.
I want Vlar to score against United.
Vlar scoring against United and then them buying him would be perfect.
Exactly, just out of rage, and them jacking up the price because, he can score too.
Vlar against Sunderland, like a 40-yard worm burner that just goes in. I was like, okay.
Yeah, let's have Vlar get a brace against. Let's have him get a brace against United.
Yeah, that's fine. If he makes us beat them, especially through his goals, I think they definitely will.
Yeah.
Buy.
Just rage buy. Like, if
you can't beat them, buy them. Rage buy.
I'd be happy for that. So, yeah, I'm in a weird, perverse way, I'm rooting for Vlar to help us win so that he goes. Well, I mean, so that he goes. Like.
I am too, just because it's funny.
I've hit the point, especially with how well Akora and Clark are playing, that, get rid of Vlar. Get some money for him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know who you have lined up that you'd bring in, but it's too bad we don't have some great youth product. Another Akora really sitting there, but
Yeah, and it should be noted, I'm not down on Vlar. I still think Vlar is
no.
really good. I'm just really high on Akora and Clark.
Yeah, I think Akora mostly, and then I think Clark's been great, but I think if Baker's in there, I'm not concerned too much, and Senderos has not been a total liability.
Yeah, exactly. We've got.
And it seems like the only way that the club can actually make some income, I think, is why we're so in favor of it.
Yeah, I would be okay with that. So yeah, I've gotten to the point where I almost want Vlar to leave, and not because I dislike him, but just because I think it opens up more options for the club.
Definitely. So kind of.
But as much as I'd love to see Vlar score too, I think you're right. It's 1-3 written all over it.
Yeah, I mean, at least I'm just really scared of Falcao and Di Maria.
Yeah. Maybe this is the place where you throw Callum Robinson in.
Yeah, exactly. Robinson and Grealish, why not?
Yeah.
Turn him loose.
I mean, that's kind of what he did against Man City at the end of last season.
Yeah, that's true.
It
kind of was the end of the year, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. Will he do it now? I guess we should all just be happy that Akora still gets to play.
We think.
Yeah.
If Vlar could slot in for him.
What would Villa fans do if? Oh my God, riots. Just
yeah, it's just a worst case scenario. We're just gonna not talk about that.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't have good feelings about this. It's a match that, in my mind, get out of it without being demoralized.
I mean, yeah, it's just gonna be something for me to do during graduation, so whatever.
Get ready for the post-Christmas. That schedule blows, by the way. A match on the 26th and a match on the 28th.
Yeah. I think we're gonna be taking a short holiday break, but could be. I think maybe I'll come back do a video recap.
Yeah.
Because Robert's busy over the Christmas period.
Yeah, so we won't be doing a podcast on the 24th.
Well, sure. we still will have match coverage for all the games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bringing my laptop home. Gonna tell my family that they've got to ignore me, which shouldn't be difficult given that I'll be waking up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, they should have no trouble ignoring me at that time of day.
Simple enough. We'd like to think.
Yeah. So
hopefully it won't be simple enough for Manchester United this weekend.
I hope not.
But I don't know. Anyways, we think it's going to be a loss. Well, I guess we'll just have to wait till Saturday to see. But like I was saying, we won't be back next week, but probably we'll just have some post-match either video recaps or still posted on either Stitcher, Blog Talk Radio, and iTunes. So. Final thoughts. I guess we already said play Grealish this time.
Yeah, but play Grealish. There it is.
All right. Well, got it again. Maybe it will work this time. That's all we got for Robert Lintott. I've been Jack Grimsey. Thanks for watching or listening to the whole cast.